And welcome back. Yes, it's Friday, but not only just Friday, it's also Tech Friday. We got John McCulley, Senior Web Developer with Moxley Carmichael. Thanks so much for being here, John.
Thank you.
But today we're talking about, interesting, Generation Z and how that generation is really just ingrained in social media. Is it something that we're finding is really just specified to this generation?
They are the first generation that has grown up the entire time with social media.
Oh, wow.
So it's very interesting to kind of think about how they're using it. And I got to be honest, this generation kind of scares me because they've dealt with technology from the minute they were born until now. So all their decisions are rooted in the ability to get information quickly and get it when they want it. But they're doing things a little differently than you would expect. And I've jotted down a couple things that they're doing. The first thing they're doing is taking a break, which is weird. Like 34% of Gen Zers are committing to taking a break from social media, which is super weird because, you know, I'm technically a millennial. I'm not taking a break, so I don't
think it'd be the opposite almost.
Right. You would think that they'd want to be on it all the time. And, you know, some of the other statistics that we'll look at kind of don't jive with that, but it's interesting because Forbes said that they surveyed 1,000 Gen Zers, and 34% are going to take a break. But then 74% say that they don't trust social media, but they're still going to stay on. So it's very interesting how they're acting about their break time and about their usage time. Now, another thing they're doing, though, is they're spending 10 hours a day online.
Wow.
Now, this seems odd for me. Now, I'm a web developer, so I spend a lot of time online.
For your job.
Exactly. And I couldn't imagine spending 10 hours just for leisure time.
Goodness.
So they are spending 10 full hours, and they're consuming at least 2 hours of YouTube every single day.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of YouTube. Now, I believe this though because my son is a Gen Zer and I can see him using YouTube all the time. This is how he consumes his TV. He is constantly stuck in the phone all the time. Now, that kind of leads to this next thing they're doing is they are connecting emotionally. About 41% that were surveyed said that they feel sad, depressed, or anxious when they review social media, which is really interesting because, you know, when I look at social media, I can kind of push it off and it doesn't really matter. But they're actually connecting emotionally, and this is where they're getting a lot of their social interactions from these phones. And 77% though say that they get a boost from their social media even though it makes them feel sad. You know, sometimes they feel glad and they're living their life through a lens, which is very interesting. So this is a different generation. This is your kids that are growing up right now that are, you know, about to graduate high school. So another thing that you need to look for is that's how they get their information. So their trust factor is very low. They're highly skeptical, and look for them to, every time you tell them something, to Google it. And I noticed this recently with my son. Every time I do say something, he Googles it to verify that I'm correct.
He's fact-checking you.
Right, which is really great in some ways, but it's very interesting that they are fact-checking so much because word of mouth, as we know, is a very important thing for some businesses, but word of mouth isn't going to last as much as it could.
That's very interesting.
They're also jumping onto Facebook and Instagram, and that's how they're doing their shopping, and they're following brands, and that's how they're learning about products. So just not trustworthy anymore. They don't trust people.
They don't trust people. That's their issue. It is interesting though because you hear about a lot of parents that have young kids and they say, hey, my toddler can run my iPad better than I can.
Absolutely.
And it is one of those things like you mentioned, it really is from, you know, the moment they're born, they're ingrained in all this. So very, very interesting.
They can operate an iPhone, but they can't get the spaghetti off their mouth.
Yeah, I know. Come on, kid. Come on, kids. Step it up just a little bit. All right. John, thank you so much. We appreciate it.